Alright, I think I got everything together. I am going to try to cover a lot of different items in this video. So as I said earlier, this already had a towel bar here, so I'm actually replacing one. And this side still has the anchors, the wall anchors in it. I didn't take those out. The other side, they were already kind of ripped out, so I just patched that side. So I'll show you that in a little bit. If we were doing a new one and you didn't already have this, you're trying to figure out where to go, you could use something like this. It's just a stud finder. This is a really nice one. I guess it's Sperry. Just pick it up at the local hardware store. I have it on a stud finder setting. You just go across. As you can see, I crossed the anchors and there was no stud. So that's why you got to use the anchors. If there was a stud in this area, then you would just screw right into the stud. So let's see if I can. So it looks like, see it lighting up there. I think you can maybe see it on the. So it looks like that would be the edge of the stud. So in theory, the stud should be right in here. But that would be right in the middle of our towel bar, so we're gonna have to use anchors on both sides. Again, since these anchors are already in here, and this is our new bracket, the bracket's actually smaller than the old bracket. So what I'm gonna do is use the top anchor, and I'm gonna use this top anchor here for this section, and then I'm gonna probably put one in this little hole. I don't usually use this hole. I usually use the two so you can slide it up or down. But I think for this one, I'll have to use this because it's going to be right in this area, and I'll need to put another anchor in there. First, I'm going to take my level from this top hole right here. I'm going to look and see. Okay, there's level, so I'm just going to draw a little straight line. So that tells me what is a level line. Then I'm going to take my little bracket, I'm going to put it right here. So I'll put one screw in the old anchor, and then I'm going to put another screw, actually maybe right at the top of this slot. So right there. So that's enough room. And all I'm going to do, I marked where I want my next anchor. The anchors that came with this said to drill a 1/4 inch hole. So I've already got a 1/4 inch bit on my drill. And I'm just going to drill right there, little hole. And grab an anchor. There you go. So this is actually the anchors I'm putting in. They came with it. I should go grab a hammer. Just tap that in with a hammer. Tap it in with that for now. So now, if I hold my bracket up, got the hole there and the hole there. So the screws that came with it, grab my screwdriver. These are the screws that came with it. You don't want to over tighten these. Plastic anchors do really well, but you can strip them out, so you just want to make it snug. line that hole up. Okay, there you go, one bracket's in place. Now the towel bar that I got, as I said earlier, is 24 inches, and it came with a template, so they usually come with a paper template that you hold across there and you can draw the holes. I think that's a little difficult. This is actually a 24-inch level, and if I measure it, it's exactly 24 inches. So I can actually use this level as my measuring tape to go from the center hole to where the center hole would be on the other side. Just level it out and then mark it right over here at the end of the level, and I'll show you that in a second. Now you'll see on my level, I'll zoom back a little if I can here. Okay. So on my level, so I used it like this just to mark where I want my other side to be. But on my level I have blue tape. I love using blue painter's tape or green painter's tape, whatever works for you. Say this was an 18-inch, I would just measure 18 inches on here, and then I'd put a little mark, and then when I hold it up to the wall, I get it level, and that mark is where I'll mark on the wall. So I always use a piece of tape. I actually was out of my thin, I usually use 1-inch blue tape on here. I was out of that, so I had to use the thicker blue tape I had in the garage, so it's folded over it. But I do that and use it for quite a while until there's too many marks, and then I rip it off and put a new piece on. But it's a very, very handy way to be able to measure and level and mark all at the same time. Let's see, anything else I need to cover? Let's turn this to the other end. Okay, so my mark is actually right here. And again, I just need to make sure I've got a straight line. So I draw a short little straight line there. I use pencil I like to use pencil for my marks because you can wipe it off fairly easy when you're done with the project. You can see the pencil mark, you can wipe it off. If you use a marker or something, then you might not be able to get it off. So now I got to decide where to put my anchors in here, and I can see if I can show you. Alright, there's the mark, and you can see where the old anchors were. So the problem is I filled those in with spackling, and I have to be careful when I go to put in new anchors because they might not hold very well in the exact same spot. So what I really need to do is try to end up a little above or a little below each hole, but first I got to see where it lands with this because it's got to be level with this bracket over here. So that's what I'm going to try and figure out. Let's zoom out a little, see what we can figure out. My other bracket's still in the So if you're not familiar with how to hang these things, they just hook. There's little hooks right here that grab on this. So you would just put it on there and hook. Now this goes on that side, and then it just hooks. You screw the set screw up into it, and that tightens it and holds it in place. So when you get them, the bracket's already inside. You have to first loosen up the set screw and pull out the bracket, and everything's in there. I'm going to go ahead, actually I'm not going to go ahead and do that. So let's see where we would end up. That doesn't look very straight, actually. Pretty close. So what I'm doing is trying to figure out where my anchors would go over here. So if this bracket was right on top of that, just like that one is, I'll put a mark right at the top, right at the bottom, and then I'll see where that lands. I think I can do one right about there, because this is the old one. And this is the tough one, because I think I can get away with maybe right there. That's going to be pushing it. Actually, I think I'm going to try and use the center hole. I thought I would over there, but I didn't. But that works. So there's that. Grab an anchor. Now generally, you wouldn't want to use the middle hole in the bottom because all your pressure is on the top of these. Think about a towel. People grabbing the towel, everything's on the top. So ideally I'd have it up here, but there's not enough strength in there, I don't think, because the old anchor was in there and ripped out and I had to fill it back in. So I'm going to see if I can just make this one strong enough this way. never like to do shortcuts or, you know, poor quality work if I know something's not going to work or it's going to fail. But the bottom line for this, if it doesn't hold over time, then you're going to be taking these anchors out and filling it all in with more patch and sanding it down and starting from scratch anyway. So they don't recommend using any type of drill or power impact driver or anything with wall anchors like that, because you can strip them out so fast. So you just really want to snug it up by hand. And then we'll set this on here perfectly level, so that's good. This feels pretty snug, so I think we're okay. So now you want to take your bracket, your holder. Obviously you want the hole going for the right side, you want it going to the left, and you want the set screw on the bottom. So if I had the other one, it would be reversed. And then you're going to hook it like I showed earlier. Just trying to hook it on there. There it's hanging on. Take your little screwdriver. You just screw it up in there. You can feel it get tight. It's on there. Now, obviously, if I put this one on now, I can't get my bar on there. Alright, so, gotta get the bar in first, then hook it. Hopefully it all hooks right, lines up right, seems to fit. Old man eyes, I can't see what I'm doing. You don't want to over tighten that either, just make it snug. Don't want to strip that out. All those little set screws and stuff are a little pretty cheap quality, so there you have it. It's all installed. There you go. So you have it, folks. That's installing a replacement towel bar, but the instructions are basically the same for just installing a new one from scratch. Don't forget to hit the subscriber button, leave your comments. Appreciate any feedback. Thanks, everyone.